But let's go ahead and take a deep breath in, guys. Just kind of restart fresh. Okay. And then we'll go into scanning you all. Okay. And again, again, I just want to stress that if you want me to scan you guys, just enter it once. Okay. Otherwise, if you do it too much, I'm not gonna scan you anyway. So again, just scan. Just ask to be scanned once. So right now, it's love to hate, and then afterwards, I will analyze you. It's frequency analysis coming up for you. For those who are new, welcome. Again, a little bit of a crazy start. Again, new system, but it's well worth waiting for. So we'll just jump right in. It's called Love to Hate, this Moss on Sunday portion. Afterwards, we'll be analyzing all you all. So, love to hate. It's kind of an interesting topic, or an interesting, say, play on words. Okay, and I'll talk about all the details. But what you'll experience is the number one reason why almost all relationships fizzle and lose passion. Okay? Two, the main ingredient in all the greatest success stories that no one, including those who say teach success courses, know about. And then three, we'll go into a deep dive meditation so you can actually experience what I'm talking about. So, and again, and that's what makes Moss on Sundays and anything that we do, really, really transformative. This goes way beyond psychology, self improvement methods, anything that's out there. Exponential intelligence goes way deeper. It goes into, because psychology, and there's a lot of new people, so this is why I'm explaining. Psychology, self improvement, and all those things that you do are at a surface level of your identity. Okay? So they work well. But if you don't have your inner self working well, your deeper programming, I would call it your blueprint, it doesn't work well at all. It's slow. You still have those patterns. Say that say that you're an alcoholic, right? And psychology, self-improvement, and so on is like, well, you're still running alcoholic patterns, but then, you go to a self-improvement seminar in psychology, you read a book, you pray, you do whatever you do, but the underlying pattern is you're still running patterns of alcoholism. And then what you do psychology is like, well, I'm just not going to go to, bars, or I'm going to close, throw away all my liquor, or I'm going to, again, lock everything, or lock myself in the house so I don't go and buy liquor. So that's what psychology is. Okay. Again, it doesn't delete psychology, self-improvement, so on. It doesn't delete the underlying pattern. And the importance of that is many of you start to blame yourself year after year after year. It's like, shit, this didn't work. This didn't work. I've tried so many things and it didn't work. Well, again, it might not be you. It might not be the method that you've tried. It's just that you didn't understand, or you didn't know that there's a deeper layer in you that dictates or controls this reality. It's a consciousness, as I call it. Once you start to remove that underlying pattern, okay, like say you're an alcoholic in this scenario, there's a programming in there that renders you an alcoholic, just like there's a programming that renders your hair color. Again, it's all DNA. Um, you change that. So you change it into, well, you're not an alcoholic anymore. You're not running a blueprint of somebody that's alcoholic. And then you can go to a bar. You can go you can go hang out with your friends at a bar. You can have liquor around the house. And again, you're not, since you're not an alcoholic, it doesn't affect you. Same thing with here. So in this scenario, again, in this example, exponential intelligence being the blueprint, changing your blueprint, your underlying program, right? That you're not an alcoholic anymore in this example. Um, Psychology, self-improvement, all those things that are out there that really fantastic, are again locking your alcohol away and doing all those things, forcing yourself to be another person. So this is that you just become that other person. Okay, and that's why exponential intelligence is so powerful. The way I do that for you, the way I shift you, the way I help you rewrite your coding, basically rewrite your life. So your life is totally very different. This goes as far as I would say changing your DNA, your genetic makeup, especially with people who've done the total human reset. Uh, a lot of fantastic changes. Again, the way they age. Many of you on Total Human Reset, if you can comment, the way you age is very different. The way, you know, as you age, you get certain diseases according to your hereditary patterns. All those dramatically change for you as well. So, really fantastic technology, by the way, and we're learning more and more about it. So, all right, let's get into what we're here for. Love to hate. Again, just a deep play on words. Um, and the reason why I picked this is because a lot of people think that their emotions are real. Okay? And this is the number one reason why almost all relationships fail, is that your emotions are not real. Okay, they're a lie. And this goes against everything that you know about, because there's tons of books that go follow your emotions. There's tons of books, videos, and all that. Trust your emotions, trust your heart, have faith, follow your intuition, follow your gut, and then but look where it's led you. Look where it's gone. Look at close your eyes if you want to, take a deep breath in, and then look at a business situation that's failed for you. You followed your emotions, but then why didn't it work out? Look at the last love relationships that you had, right? Your heart went warm, you fell in love, and then what happened to you, right? In a short while, that relationship wasn't that fantastic, right? It fizzled out. You lost your identity. So why did that happen? Okay. So again, love to hate is so important, and it's not loving to hate, or it's not love to hate, like from love, like your relationship that was in love, and then it turned into hate. It's not about that. It's about loving your negative emotions. Okay, that's the key, loving your negative emotions, because again, most things that are out there in society, today's society, including self-improvement seminars and everything that you did go to. You can go to the top people in the self-improvement industry, and they'll always go all the ways that you stay away from. You stay away from those negative emotions. In fact, a seminar I went to or heard about, it's like they have a target that you put all those negative emotions that you're feeling, and you're supposed to destroy them. It's like, no, 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 no. It doesn't work out that way. It just creates more of a distance between you. Um, think of anything that you've always pushed against, or you're the opposite of. If you're one of those people that, everything that your parents did, you did the opposite, right? Your parents were very religious. You did the opposite. Your parents loved money. You did the opposite. Your parents hated money or weren't wealthy. You did the opposite. It doesn't matter. The end result is that you're pushing against something. It has to create a reference point for you to be different, for you to be the opposite. Emotions are the same way. So when you're always pushing against, say, negative emotions, okay? When you're always pushing against negative emotions, you're creating the same reference points as embracing those negative emotions. Think about it. Okay? Go back and experience it. Right? You're always pushing away hate. And then you'd have to reference hate to push away from it. You'd have to reference a feeling sadness. You'd have to reference feeling lonely. You'd have to reference feeling jealous. All those things you'd have to reference to know that you need to push away from it. So, and that's the problem. When you do that, when you reference anything to recognize that you need to push away from it, you create more of disharmony between what you really want here and then what you're getting here. So there's a better way of doing it, and I'm going to show you that within this half hour. Again, we started late, so we'll go through the half hour. So let's go ahead, take a deep breath in, and we'll just create a because it's about the frequencies that I help you generate. Right? So what does that have to do with negative emotions? As you notice your neck, your spine, I'll guide you into a deep state. And by the way, it's not a meditation. It's not a relaxation process or anything like that. It just you'll soon notice, and even while I've been talking, you've noticed that you've dropped into, say, a certain state, or you might feel different. Right? That's fantastic. Some of you might feel uncomfortable, especially if you are new. Again, don't switch off. That's not me. Okay. Don't trust your emotions. Okay. That's all. As I shine the light, just think of this process. I shine the light on what's holding you back. Okay. Whether you might think it's not holding you back or not, it doesn't really matter. So some of you might be feeling nervous or awkward. As some of you, I can feel you. By the way, I can tap into any one of you, and that's what I do later on. So stay tuned for that. A lot of you feeling, say, gut issues or having that sinking feeling and all that. Those are the patterns that are destroying you. It's not me. Okay. It's just that I'm shining that light going, hey, these are the patterns or these are the things that are holding you back. All right. So another aspect of negative emotions that people stay away from is that, they go through, say, like the 18-day, the fastest way to transform your life, or the total human reset, even faster way to transfer all aspects of your life, or a session with me or something to that effect, or just listening to Moss on Sundays. And all this stuff starts to come out. And then they start to uh, uh, all these things start to come out, and then you're supposed to confirm your deletions. So what XI, exponential intelligence, does is that, and again, it's the body of knowledge that I tap into to help you change your life. What that does is, like, it starts to peel away all those things that are not beneficial for you. Okay. And then what happens to people is that, say that I work on you again through one of those processes, you start to see the things that are holding you back. Okay. And then you start to see the events. And this is what happens to people outside of XI, but we just do it faster for you, right? You start to see a situation, and then you start to not like that situation because it's going downhill for you. It's a downward spiral for you. And then what do? You follow your emotions, right? You follow your emotions, and then you change the situation. And as you change the situation, right, or the person, or the event, or whatever it is, um, what happens or what follows you is you don't change your emotions. You don't change how you look at that situation. You're still seeing that filter, that event as through the filter of your emotions, and that's the key. That's the problem. It might not be the situation that's destroying your life. It might be the emotions that are rendered destroying your life. For example, if you've been abused, okay, and you could use a positive emotion, but most people stay away from negative emotions, so we'll use negative emotions in this scenario. Say that you've been abused in the past, right? You have a filter. You look at life, all aspects of your life, including internal aspects of you, right? Your self-identity through that abuse pattern, right? So there's a negative emotion there, right? A fear would be a negative emotion, or you would, for some people, just to pick up, there's a lot of women out there that might not like men or might not trust men. And that's got nothing to do with you. It's just that, for example, and again, a good number of you, quite interesting, a lot of your mothers say that, your dad cheated on them, or they didn't love their mother and all that. And then they hated that. They hated the husband or your father. They hated the father. Again, not liking men. You took it on as an emotion of not liking men or hating men. Again, hate. So now what happens is you interact with men, whether it's your brother, whether it's your, um, obviously your father, whether it's a lover, or whether it's a coworker, anybody, the guy serving you coffee, that filter of hate, because there's a man there. And again, it might not have to be physical man, a woman running masculine patterns. It's like, shit, why do I hate that person, right? Again, so notice those emotions. So the number one thing that we need to do is notice how you filter or how you see this reality. Okay. Further, as we go deeper, emotions are, and I'm jumping around, which is a good thing. It's the way I teach because most people are taught to be linear learners. It's very detrimental, and I wish they would change the schooling system. Again, they teach you to have an idea, close off that idea, and then go to the next idea. I don't teach you that way. So if you get a little confused, or it's like, God, this guy doesn't make sense because he doesn't close his thoughts up, it's a good reason to stay here more for you. Again, because it breaks away from your fear of linear thinking. You've actually used linear thinking to make yourself secure, right? And again, there's a lot of people. That's why I'm talking about it. So I open up a space here. I open up a space here. I open up all those spaces for you just so your brain starts to think differently, right? So again, that's the way I teach. If it's confusing for you, it's probably good for you because again, it's expanding your consciousness or expanding your learning abilities back to its natural state. So back to my example on emotions, right? Especially negative emotions. Okay, as we take a deep breath in. So I'll work on you at a deeper level, or I'll help you get into those deeper states where I can easily say help you transform to use negative emotions positively. So again, take a deep breath in. Just notice your heart space, your chest space. That's where a lot of those heavy patterns or negative emotions are about. All right. So say that you run again a pattern of abuse. Okay. And then what happens is that emotions are not to be trusted, like I said. So you run a pattern of abuse. Okay? You've been abused as a childhood, as teenager, and then you fall in love. Okay. So what happens? You fall in love. But how did you fall in love? What are the patterns? What's the parameters that your body or your psyche or your intelligence or your thought process or your logic uses to make you fall in love? Okay? Those parameters are your emotions are literally based on the programming. So if you have say abuse patterns in your system, you'll fall in love with somebody that, or get attracted to somebody that has abuse patterns. Right? So in that scenario, why would you follow your emotions? So think of it. So again, uh, don't trust your emotions at the point, especially if you haven't done exponential intelligence. If you have, and you're on the flip side where you've calibrated your emotions properly, you can follow your emotions, and it'll take you into the direction of your new life. Okay. So number one key is again, don't trust your emotions. Observe where they've taken you in the past. Right. Observe where they've taken you in the past. If it's not where you want to go, again, observe your emotions and ask, it's like, how can I recalibrate my emotions to take me in the right direction? Okay. So emotions are just tools for you. They're not real. They can be recalibrated for you. Right? Imagine that the emotions of your younger days compared to your emotions of today, they've changed quite a bit, right? Again, emotions aren't, say, solid evidence. They're not a piece of you. They change over time. They're not, and you can change them into the direction that you need to go. Successful individuals, the number one reason why they're successful is that their emotions are calibrated properly to take them into the direction of success rather the direction of failure. Again, so the underlying program, you have to change your underlying program and then calibrate your emotions to take you to the direction. So many of you, especially that we just got finished with total human reset, and this is why you have to say understand this at a deeper level. Your programming changed. Okay. Your programming changed at a deep level. You just can't see things the way they are anymore. You can't go into an abuse pattern anymore. You can see it right away. It's like, oh, that person is going to abuse me. You just see it right away, and that's a product of especially the total human reset and the 18 days. You see it, but at a surface level or at cognitive level, and this is where your emotions have to calibrate again. So you're seeing that person and you're going, okay, that person has patterns that in the past have abused me. Again, your intuition rises, right? You see it plainly, but then your emotions on how you treat that, that's up to you. So sometimes, we might feel guilty about that person. It's like, ah, shit, I know they're going to abuse me, but then, I feel guilty, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and I can heal them or I can save them. And then what happens? You go into full well, you go into that situation that you should have disconnected. So that aspect, again, for those who went through the process, guys, don't trust your emotions. Look at the face value. Look at, okay, this person is actually abusing me, because again, all the filters have been cleared out. You see it face value and you go, okay, my emotions are telling me that I should be attracted to that person still. Okay, that's wrong. So it's up to you to go, no, wait a second. Those are my old emotions. Those are emotions calibrated to my old pattern. I can't do that. So you would just observe. You just observe that situation, or that observe that relationship, and you get to see how your emotions have played a part to take you into the direction, say in this case, of abuse, or making not money, going into an investment situation that, you lose your money, or, you feel your emotions. It's like, shit, I need to invest in this stock. And then what happens? That stock tanks, or you're in the wrong timing. Again, those are all emotion based. Right? So you start to observe, and then when you see, it's like, God, my emotions are taking me into the wrong direction. I should be going this way, right? That's where you start to calibrate your emotions. You're in a good level, but again, you have to say choose something different, right? So let's take a deep breath in. The other aspect, this is the main ingredient that in all of the greatest success stories that no one, including those who teach success courses, know about. Okay? Because they always tell you to stay away from those negative emotions. Again, take a deep breath in. Notice your heart space. Notice your groin area. A lot of pain there that we hold on to, defending, defending our right to be abused, basically. So again, let's just remove all that, and then all the emotions as well. And as a note, reading some of the chats, yes, I will scan you uh, afterwards. So the number one reason why, or the main ingredient on the greatest success stories, is that all those individuals, I can guarantee, I've read a lot of autobiographies and documentaries and so on, and I see it obviously from a different perspective, because I can read, I can analyze anybody, dead or alive, and see where they are and see how they got successful, and see their underlying pattern, just like I can do. I can analyze you without knowing anything about you. So and I'll show that afterwards. But the number one reason why successful individuals have become successful is because they know how to calibrate their emotions properly. That's one. The number two reason is that they use negative emotions. So what does that mean? For example, all individuals say stay away from negative emotions and then move towards the positive. It never, ever, ever works out that way. Again, I explained that earlier. What almost all successful individuals do, they've used those negative emotions to deep down inside, to go deep down inside, to go, because negative emotions push them into a corner. They can't go anymore. Those negative emotions, again, push you in a corner. It's a great opportunity for you to analyze while you're in the corner. It's a great opportunity for you to go internal. Okay. Instead of destroying yourself, this is the key. Negative emotions, again, anger, jealousy, greed, fear, sloth, which is, again, empathy, and some of the others. There's actually a book called The Seven Deadly Horsemen by Napoleon Hill. It's part of the law of success. Take a look at that, and it'll show you. And even in that book, in that success book, it says to stay away from those emotions. Don't. Okay, understand those emotions. Those are your tickets to success. That's your ticket to health. That's your ticket to wealth. That's your ticket to fantastic, joyous, sensual relationships, ongoing. So, and the reason for that is that, And exponential intelligence uses negative emotions again to get you out, and I'll explain that in just a minute. As we take a deep breath in. So the reason why you use negative emotions, because they're accurate. They're more accurate than the positive emotions. And who labeled negative and positive emotions? Okay. So take a deep breath in again. If you've noticed, all the people that want to control you and have controlled you, did they use love to control you? Did they use joy? Did they use happiness? Did they use all those things to control you? Or did they use fear? Did they use anger? Did they use jealousy? Did they use, again, all the negative emotions that you're supposed to stay away from? Look at the ads. Look at the marketing techniques. Hurry up before, limited inventory. Time is running out. Be one of the cool people, um, right? Let's see, your religions, right? If you don't do X, Y, and Z, you're going to go to hell. They don't go, if you do X, Y, and Z, God's going to love you. You're going to embrace God's love. No, they don't say that. You don't do X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, God's going to punish the hell out of you. So again, even in that state where love is the answer, where you're supposed to have religions and not knocking down religions, I'm just pushing them to say clarify what their message is, so that again they can be practiced properly. So look at all the tools. Look at how you control your kids. Look at how you control your spouse, right? If you don't do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to withhold love for you or withhold sex from you, whatever it might be. Again, negative emotion. So if those negative emotions you're supposed to stay away from, why do you use it to control other people? XI uses it, and this might be an aha moment for you. XI uses those negative emotions, exponential intelligence uses those negative emotions to control you into a direction that you need to go rather than controlling. And this is where negative emotions get a bad name. Okay. I would call them power tool emotions. Okay. Because they will get you out of situations like you've never had before. It's that accelerant. It's the nitrous oxide. If you're a racer, that's going to get you out of where you go really fast. Okay. So the reason why the negative emotions are deemed negative is because it's gotten you into, say, a negative situation. That's the key. It's not the emotions, it's how you use that emotions. If you had a beautiful car and you drove it into the ditch, it's not the car's problem. It's your problem. You didn't know how to use it properly. Simple as that. So successful individuals use negative emotions. They never talk about that, but they use negative emotions all the time to get you on course. All the time, all the time. They always get feedback, negative feedback from their clients, their customers, their spouses, whatever, whoever, wherever. They use the negative emotions to go, oh, okay, I must be off track. Let's analyze it. But most people go, oh, you're off track. I don't know, you're mean or whatever. It's like, and then you hold on to that anger, right? Again, people wrap around that negative emotion. Say like somebody says you're always angry at all the time. And then what do? You fight against, go, no, I'm not, and you get angry about that. So again, use negative emotions to create, say, positivity in your life. And I'll give you an example. And this happens to many individuals. Say that say that you've been controlled. Say that your parents, and this could be all of you, literally. Say that your parents used anger. Okay, and then the other aspect of anger is guilt, guilt and shame. I'll just analyze you as a group. Let's take a deep breath in, and then we'll go into the deep dive. Yeah, anger, guilt, shame. Anger, guilt, shame. Yeah, anger, guilt, shame, and fear. Um, so anger, guilt, shame, fear. Okay, that was used to control you as a child. Okay, and then you do one of the programs again, the 18 days, the total human reset, a session with me, Moss on Sundays, and then what happens is that many of you, as you go through the process, anger, guilt, shame will come forward for you. Okay, uh, just like in the past. But in this situation, exponential intelligence uses it to control you into the direction that you want. So what happens is that you've been controlled by anger in the past. You clean up, and then there's anger that comes up through you. Right? In the scenario, like most successful individuals, that anger is a pivotal point for you to use a directional force to take you out of where you are. Right? Not a force. Most people use anger, whether it's for themselves or against other people, to explode all over the place, just like a bomb, shrapnel or debris all over the place. Okay. Exponential intelligence or successful people, secret ingredient to their success is that they look at the anger, they experience the anger, and then it says, in this scenario, it's like, I'm never going to let that happen to me again. And they use that anger to push away directionally towards another direction. You can use shame, right? You've been shamed into, say, criticizing yourself, cutting yourself down, taking care of somebody that's destroying your life or limiting your life, right? As you clean up through exponential intelligence, shame will be used or guilt will be used for your benefit to get you out. And you go, well, how do you do that? How does that happen? Well, simply, you're going to use shame and guilt to go, shit, I'm going to go, um, uh, uh, I'm going to, you think back and you get shameful on how you've wasted your life, and it puts a fire under your ass to go, shit, I'm not gonna wait for anybody. You're gonna guilt yourself into being your best positive self. If I don't do X, if I don't do X and that X is a fantastic adventure for you, I'm going to feel guilty about not doing it. So it perpetuates you again to go through that direction. It bypasses fear, and that's how you control fear, by the way. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Jealousy. And by the way, you can use this in personal relationships and then also claiming yourself, claiming your wealth. How does jealousy benefit you? Right? I'm not going to go through all the negative emotions. How does jealousy benefit you? Well, simply as you ascend higher, right, as you clean up, you start to look at people and you get jealous about them. And the way that works is that it's simple that you don't go, well, what did she do, or who did she sleep with, right, to get the job that she has, or whatever. Um, Take a deep breath in. Instead, you like something about that person. Okay. Instead of cutting them down to make you feel better, you'll go, wait a second, I'm just as good as that person. Why can't I have that relationship, or why can't I have that, the fantastic purse, or the car, or whatever. So again, you don't cut them down. You admire what they've ascended to, what they've accomplished, whether it's through good or bad, it doesn't matter. They've accomplished something. Okay. You can turn it around and use it as a good, you can get or accumulate that in a good way. And it's like, well, why don't I deserve that? Again, that's how jealousy, again, kicks you in the butt to go, shit, I'm worthy enough. And that's how self worth really comes in. So, those individuals, again, who lack self worth, who go through the process of, XI, whatever that we do, it comes back around. Again, jealousy pulls into creating you massive self worth. And you go, yeah, I do deserve that stuff. Not from an ego standpoint, but it's because your brilliant self, your high level self, your limitless self comes through. It's like, I do deserve the better things in life. I do deserve, fantastic relationships, wealth, and all those things, all the blessings of this world here. So this is a short synopsis on how you can use negative emotions, or why to love negative emotions, because they're going to be your best ally to transform your life the fastest way possible. They're the power tools that other people use, including the devil, if you believe in the devil, to control you. So use those power tools, get intimate with them, and then use them to create a great masterpiece for the life forward. Okay, instead of using them to destroy you. Right, and then what happens is, as you use those properly, love, joy, passion, and all those fantastic positive emotions will be even more, say, succulent or more, yeah, more succulent for you. You'll really feel that because, again, now you're balanced, you're harmonized. All right. So let's take a deep breath in. This one aren't negative emotions, low vibrational emotions. No, not at all. Negative emotions are not, if you use them, love is a low vibration frequency. Again, look at how people use love. So it's not the emotions. Emotions are neutral. How you attach to them or what you attach to them, that's low vibration, high vibration. So don't believe in that bullshit, buddy. All right, whoever wrote that. Take a deep breath in. I'll guide you into a deep state where I can actually show you that. Again, strong deep breath in, and then we'll go into the scan. Strong deep breath in again. Again, connecting, helping you connect to the mastermind here. And then breath in again. Asking yourself, how do I become my best possible self? How do I live out of my limitless self even more? So let's take you into a negative emotion. I'm not going to say the emotion because I don't want to guide you, hypnotize you in any way, seed your thoughts. I'll just create that frequency for you. Okay. Just give me a second. There we go. Hmm. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So I created anger for you. Again, many of you say felt that rage or for a brief time, and then all of a sudden it turned into brilliance. So again, comment back if that's what you felt. So I guess the talk and the frequencies underneath the talk really helped you. You guys got picked up on it right away. Again, comment back. For the most of you, again, it's like you felt that intensity and then it released and it turned into, say, brilliance or that light or love. Let's try another emotion. I couldn't hold that space around y'all. That's why I know. That's how I know. Some of you uh, pulled yourself down, that anger, and went into shame and guilt. So those individuals, again, the shame and guilt, use it properly to not hate yourself or not get angry at yourself, but angry at, say, what's happened to, say, perpetuate you out. So again, guys, those emotions that come out, they're not real. Just so you have to observe the emotions that are that you'll face. Right? Again, they can be edited and changed just like the events of your life. In fact, if you change your emotions first, yeah, a lot of you, um, yeah, a lot of you, what was I going to say? A lot of you try to change the events, but try to change your emotions first and then go forward. Okay. And then as you change your emotions, you'll actually start to you'll actually start to say flip forward on the other side. That's exactly what I felt. Extremely brief. Yes, there's one up there that you didn't say feel anything. That's okay. Here one K Fisher, I didn't feel anything. And again, just tapping into the reason why you might have not felt anything. You have a solid, say, filter around you. You've numbed all your emotions, so you wouldn't feel anger. You just basically wouldn't feel anything because that's the way you protect yourself. By the way, and I can help you say peel that away. All right. I would suggest, say, a session or something like that, because you're really, really ready to feel the joy. It's like you've gone through life, but there was no vibrancy through it. So obviously, you wouldn't feel that. Again, you can peel that away, and let's just help you do that. So. All right, guys. Took a little longer, but that's all right. Let's take a deep breath in, and then we'll go into, say, analyzing people. We'll take just a second or two to switch into that new state. But before we do, I just want to comment on some topics coming up. Again, final victory Q&A of the Totally Human Reset. That's tomorrow. That's coming up March 1st at 6 p.m. Central. The other thing is please fill out the survey. We look forward to your feedback too, so we can make Total Human Reset even more fantastic. Transformation contest for an after pictures and a 1-minute video. Again, and we'll pick those people, and then you guys get a free session with me, I believe. And then XI lecture series on new wealth coming up on March 9th. So it'll show you what the financial storm that is hitting us is about. It hit us around COVID time, coincidentally. So we'll give you all the details on that and what to do with your money. If you're super wealthy on this call, it just means that you've got a lot more to lose because it's not the rules of the game isn't changing this time around. Like with all the other financial crashes, the whole game is changing this time. So you want to know what the new game is and then the new rules for the game. So it's a fantastic opportunity, again, for those who have a lot of wealth to preserve their wealth. And then for those individuals, and make it grow. And then for those individuals, it's a fantastic opportunity to come into wealth. So doing wealth properly this time. So it's advantageous for all of us as long as we know what to look for and what to do. And I'll give you all the specifics on, say, what I'm doing, specific stocks or whatever else, cryptos and all that that I'm getting into. All right. So we'll jump into, and this is new, guys, where I'll be actually analyzing somebody live. We do that. We started doing that. Um, we do that once a month at the end of the month, where I'll be analyzing two people live, where they actually like interact with me. In and then all the other times, I literally read you on the chat, and then this way you have feedback. So some of you say who don't believe, so to speak, it's like, well, he might be just saying that. Again, obviously through the chats, it's not, but this way you get that feedback. So we'll go ahead and with that. And while we're preparing, guys, 13 ways to heal your love pain. That's coming up. It's a free seminar. We're going to be picking one person every day for the 13 days, right? And analyzing your love life, not just analyzing it. We'll see what's going on why your love life is the way it is, and then helping you change. It's a great opportunity for you. So sign up for that. Again, it's totally free. And then it's not just for that person. It's you can learn a lot from that individual, because as I work on that one individual, I'll be working on you as well. Same thing here. So we are ready. Why do I attract toxic relationships instead of my soulmate? Why does the passion in sex fade? Why did they cheat on me? If these are the questions you keep asking yourself, then this free series is exactly for you. The people we attract, our ways of interacting, and the quality of love that we receive are simply reflections of our inner frequency programming. What if you could? What if you could rapidly change your love life simply by rewiring your love frequency? Whether you are single, a happy couple that craves more, or yearning for a better relationship, in this free series, you'll get real answers and solutions that have already worked for thousands. Of our inner frequency programming. What if you could? What if you could rapidly change your love life? Get real answers and solutions that
New.
What if you could? What if you could rapidly change
I've
your love
actually
life
worked
simply by
with Kimberly
rewiring your love
Carey for a
frequency?
while, and she
Okay.
introduced me to watching
Oh,
YouTube
wonderful.
videos, and yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
fantastic. So, and it's okay to for me to analyze you online, right? Because again, everybody's going to be hearing this. So, fantastic.
Yes.
Alrighty. So let's take a deep breath in, guys. Whether it's Rosalind or anybody else, let's just take a deep breath in. If you could rapidly change your love life simply by rewiring your love frequency. Okay. Say that one more time, hon. There's some background noise. So yes. Okay. Fantastic. So, and it's okay to for me to analyze you online, right?
Oh,
Because again, everybody's going to be hearing. And I'm hearing some background noise as well. Let's take a deep breath in, guys. Yami, can you fix that? I'm so sorry, guys. Let's just take a deep breath in. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Say that one more time, hon. There's some background noise. So yes, we're getting feedback. Okay. So, and it's okay to for me to analyze you. Oh, right? Because again, everybody's going to be hearing. And I'm hearing some background noise as well. I'm so sorry. Yami, can you fix that? I'm so sorry, guys. That should be good. Yeah. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Say that one more time. There's some background noise. So I'm getting some feedback, Yami. We're getting feedback. Okay. So, and it's okay to for me to analyze you. Oh, right? Because again, everybody's going to be hearing. And I'm hearing hello background noise as well.
I'm here.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. That should be good. Yeah. I'm just getting that delay. Oh. Getting some feedback, Yami. Okay, guys. Okay, just give me 1 second here. There we go. Shit. All right, guys. Okay, so now you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, guys. This is the
Perfect.
first time we're done this, so sorry about that. Alrighty. So Rosalind, just tapping into you again. Never, done this live or never analyzed you in the past. So what happens is that in say for example relationships and as a whole, it's almost like there's a heaviness in your chest area. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that does make sense.
And what happens is, especially when you get into tight situations, or yeah, especially when you get into tight situations or nervous situations, or say that you have one, two, three. Have you had like three relationships? Yeah, one, two,
Yes.
yeah, three relationships that you've had. There's always a dominating factor. You always feel like pushed or subservient. You get into that positions where you're always subservient. No matter how you do, and no matter what you do, you always feel subservient. No matter if you're, say, the breadwinner, which you seems like you usually are, or the supportive person, or the problem solver in that relationship, or the person that gets you out of those relationships. All those things are, well, all those things are, um, you take care of them, but then you're always subservient to that person. So well, basically you become a slave, or that support person, always trying to say prove your self-worth overall. Did that make sense to you?
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So take a deep breath in, and we'll try to go back and see where that comes from. And again, it could be your culture, but it goes in, and wait, it's your grandmother. How was your grandmother? Did she rule like pretty much? Did she tell everybody what to do? I feel like a strong masculine frequency that's female though.
I didn't know her that well, but that from what I've heard, that's very accurate.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that grandmother role, and again, she's a very strong, yeah, she's a very strong masculine frequency. So she literally has a masculine frequency within a woman's body. Okay, by the way,
Mhm.
and then everybody's fearful of her. So that pattern has gone through into, again, your genetic makeup. So even if you were adopted, you would still run that pattern basically of being subservient. So when you have like that male dominant frequency that comes through, and you're female, by the way, you would always have to be subservient, because in that household, again, everybody, including the males, was subservient. So for you, and that's why you have that subservient frequency. On the flip side of that as well is that, the three main relationships you've had, maybe five or six total, but they were just off and on, type. But the three major relationships that you've had, from what I'm sensing or analyzing, is that they've always been, say, of a female frequency. You become the masculine identity. Does that make sense? Although they might be, that abrasive man, or that aggressive on the outside initially when you know them, and that's why you get attracted to them. After you start to, say, get connected with them or get intimate with them, it's like, shit, I'm more of a man than they are. Because does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then again, you would like to be pampered like a female, not like a weak female, but a strong female that needs a strong man. So in that situation, it'd be pretty hard because one, um, and is it their issues? Of course, their issues, but what pattern is it in you that's running, that's allowing that to happen, where you're attracting those patterns? And I just explained it to you. Again, you have a pattern of being subservient from that grandmother. So just deleting that off you. And then two, you have that masculine identity to protect yourself, so to speak, which
Mhm.
accommodates, say, feminine men. So, so that's my analysis on you. And you can ask me anything that you need to, while you've got the time. So that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm actually great. It's great that you're addressing this. It wasn't what I was going to ask, but
Mhm.
that was just totally spot on. I did want to talk about like emotional eating, difficulty
Mhm.
releasing weight,
Yep.
and then the other thing was drawing more clientele into my business.
Okay. So
So,
sure. So the emotional eating, you
mhm.
know, especially when you get into, say, success mechanisms. So what I define as success, because success is a magnifier. Love relationships or close love, real love relationships, that becomes a magnifier. Okay. And in the 13 ways, well, I'll explain why that's a magnifier. And those are great opportunities for you to, again, expand, but most people destroy themselves because of that. Health, but then wealth is a magnifier. So what happens is that you fall in love or you become successful. You get closer and closer because uh, what happens is that as you get closer to success, however it might be, you start to understand your weaknesses, or your weaknesses start to percolate on up. They're there for you to release them. But what happens is that you become more and more insecure about yourself as you become more or fall in love in this scenario or become successful. And then that's where the emotional eating happens. It's like, shit, the more successful I get, and that's why success never really feels good for you. And you always have to fall backwards to reclaim yourself. And then that's where you say, gain your strength. And then it's like, okay, I'm all gung ho. And then you create more success or you get committed more and more. And then all of a sudden, it's like the weaknesses that are in you, and we all have weaknesses, show up. But then what you do is like, shit, why do I feel so weak and insecure as I become successful? And you go, I don't like that. So you'd have to lose your success. And that's why I see your business kind of, it goes good for a bit. And then all of a sudden it's like you lose it and then you rebuild it and then you lose it and you rebuild it. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? Same thing
Yeah.
with, same thing with your relationships. You get to a certain point. It's like, God, this could be the guy. And then all of a sudden, your weaknesses show and then they start treating you worse off as well, by the way, because again you're the leader you're the leader, or you become the unknown leader in relationships,
Yeah.
in business situations. People always gravitate towards you. So you've got the components. Yeah, you've got the components to become a really solid, a good solid leader. But again, you can't burden yourself with people's situations and so on, because you'd get blamed for it. So helping you remove all those patterns, take a deep breath in. Did all that make sense for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Um, and even that goes back to your original frequencies that I talked about. You'd always have to be, you can never remember when I said you play a subservient role. How can
Hmm.
you be a leader? And that's what you want to be, for a good purpose, by the way, right? You want to be a leader in your family to create a nice, cohesive family, right? A really good, strong bond between your husband and, um, you don't have kids, right?
I do.
Two
I
kids?
have two.
Yeah.
One is stepson, younger stepson, older one.
Okay.
He actually lives with his dad in
Oh,
Arizona.
okay. Yeah, I noticed you had. It was kind of confusing. I saw
Yeah.
two kids, but they didn't feel really close to you, by the way. So that's why I couldn't. I
Yeah.
was like, well, what happened to them? So, or I thought you might have lost them because there's a fear of losing your kids as well, from what I'm seeing.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Hmm.
that's why it's like fading away. So when that fear happens, and you're not the first, say, woman in your family lineage that have lost kids somehow, either of like death
Hmm.
or those things. Again, those are
Yes.
all those patterns that no matter what the hell you do, they're the underlying frequencies, just like, your hair color and, your skin tone and stuff. DNA patterns, those patterns
Interesting.
of like losing kids or the fear of losing your kids, will be there for you. So just eliminating that for you as well. So again,
Yeah.
a lot of things starting to come off, because you're a very quick learner. We just don't have the time to analyze you completely, but it's a really good start. For you. And then others who run similar patterns as Rosalind, you'll start to pull back and you'll start to analyze. You literally see what I see is like you get successful or you get happier in a relationship and you get closer and closer, and then you go, oh shit, this is the way I'm sabotaging myself. This is why, and then you go, no, I'm
Mhm.
not going to take it anymore. And at that point, you have a choice to go again, go backwards and use your old patterns, or go forwards. And the 18 days, or again another process of exponential intelligence will help you break through that faster. But now at least you know what's going on. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fantastic. We'll move on to, is it John? Yeah, John. Hey, John. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Anything special you want to work on? I mean, I can just analyze you. I haven't. It's okay to analyze you uh,
Yes,
online.
handle.
Okay, perfect. And again, obviously, I don't talk about all the details. The deeper details because we're in public forum here. But just close enough. Let's take a deep breath in, my friend. One, two, three. One, two, three. Yeah. So when I analyze you, and again, I've never analyzed you before or anything like that, right? Right. So when I analyze you, I see three identities in you. So, so what that means to you is that you switch. So depending on, say that you had a really, again, a masculine mother or a dominating mother, not so much say masculine, but just a really weak female that's like knows that she's weak, so she has to get really aggressive to show that she's feminine. Does that make sense to you? Um, and then I can't hear you though for some reason.
Sorry, can you hear me
Oh,
now?
oh yeah, I can hear you now. Perfect. So, and
Okay.
then pay attention to your throat and your upper chest, my friend. Okay. Yeah. So your throat, your upper chest for now. Okay. Yeah. So again, just working on you and speaking, and then working on others on the group that similar patterns. So men do it the same way. Men who are really weak on the inside become really aggressive, to show that they're strong. So again, kind of both sides. Your mom being really weak, a weak female, showing that she's a strong female through aggression. Your father kind of being the same way. It throws you off as your say sexual identity or like not being. Well, it's like who the hell am I? If that makes sense to you, am I like a solid man or do I run feminine frequencies? And you might get that, in your experiences. Does that make sense to you? So,
Yes.
so genetically, as I see you, you're a solid man. Okay, but you've been kind of like screwed over because you didn't have a proper and well, society's not that great either. As having solid men, solid women, they're all fake. Even the most well, look at the back in the day. Some of the most coolest guys that were on movies. Around Cary Grant, Tony, what's his name? Uh, well, those actors back in the day, they were all gay, but they were like on the screen. It's like God, he's a solid man, he's a gentleman and stuff. But again, So anyway, so not solid men. So take a deep breath in, my friend. You are. Uh, So what happens is you've figured out a way. You're very intuitive on say figuring out say really yeah, good solutions. So when you were younger, to accommodate your mom so she doesn't get really aggressive or try to destroy your life, you basically switch into an identity what's accommodating to your mom. Does that make sense?
That does.
Yeah. And then what happens is like when you're with your dad, it's like, well, I'll switch over to whatever he needs. So you have those two main identities, and then there's another identity of you, okay, which is like, well, I can just since that worked out well, I'll just accommodate to whoever I'm with, and then I'll make really good friends because I just reflect back who they are. Does that make sense to you? But then
In the past, yes.
okay, in the past. So again, that pattern still runs. You might still, right now, yes, you've been on a journey to find yourself. How old are you, by the way?
51.
51. So about 30, I want to say 32, 33, you started to look inwards and go, okay, who the hell am I? So around 32, 33, you're still defining yourself. And that journey, you're 51 now, but at like you said, in the past, but you're still operating from those patterns, but you're covering it up. Does that make sense? Those patterns exist, but you're going, okay, I want to be me. I want to be me. So it's always a struggle because those patterns are still alive and they have more control over you. So it's always like, so you wake up in the morning and you have to define who you are before you move forward. Does that make sense? This is where, uh, well, like a Tony Robbins or someone, they always go, well, you have to have your morning routine. Basically, what they're telling you is that, it's like, well, this is the person you are. this is the person that you want to be, and then you just keep pushing the person that you want to be, but the underlying person, the original you, is still there for you. So let's remove that and just be that person that you want to be. So you wake up in the morning and you are the way you are. Does that make sense to you?
Uh,
You've taken like about 20 years to say accomplish that. The good thing about it is that whatever you've done in the past, again from 30s on, and you've seems like you've done a lot, self-help books, a lot of stuff. Um, those will they've taught you the psychology, the self-improvement methods, all the tools that you need at a physical level to change really fast. So after this quick session, my friend, again within days, and please write back. Um, yeah, the both of you, by the way, please write back. Within days, specifically for you, it's like you'll get this aha feeling that's like, shit, I finally found myself. There's going to be that deeper connection deep inside you. Because when you're with people, okay, and this is how, again, you can tell when you're with people, you're just, there's you, and then there's that person, and then there's kind of a void or a disconnect between you and that person. Does that make sense? Okay.
yes.
Because you're trying to push, again, your identity. It's a real identity, by the way, your real identity, but you just don't know how to lock it in because, again, mom, dad's patterns, those or other identities or other patterns that you have are still in you. So what I'm doing in this mini session again is pulling your mom and dad's patterns out of you, which accommodates room for you to step back in and click into yourself. And you'll probably feel that in the groin area and then in the chest. And even when you look in the mirror, you'll look at yourself and it's like, damn, that's the real John coming out for me. Does that make sense to you? Even now, how do you feel now, my friend?
I feel great. I'm thankful.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Uh, when I was 18, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and I've had
Mhm.
some colon problems since then. Would you be able to?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, I was focusing in on relationship patterns and success, but yeah, health patterns, sure. Uh, oh, and that's okay. So that's why I said you'll feel it in the groin and midsection. Yeah. So when I see you, literally, you have three identities, actually four with yourself. Like I said, so mom, dad, some other identity, and then the real you. Okay. So the way I see it is that if you could imagine four images of you, okay, John, and
Mhm.
they're transparent, so they're opaque, so they can you can see through, and they're layered on top, so you have one, two, three versions of yourself, but they're not completely congruent, so they're layered out, for example. So it messes up your nervous system. So the stomach issues, or again, your identity issues and all that stuff are down there. Again, those are caused because you literally, when I see you, you kind of, well, there's like four different versions of you. Do you remember back in the day the mouse tails? Like on the pointer, they had the tail. Well, there's four of you all the time following you, and that's
Wow.
why you kind of feel not in time sometimes, or out of time sometimes, right? Or it's like, shit, where am I? Or you might forget where you, like you said, like I said, you might forget where you are. So all those things that I didn't talk about, you'll just literally be you and go, wow, I really feel things. By the way, when you start to really feel things, you'll start to see, say, some of the pains and aches and so on coming out because you're in your body, and then that's the way to rectify it. So the reason you have those issues, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm just telling you what I see, is because the nerve, um, yeah, there's nerve issues that kind of like shut down your lower half. And then that's where the bacteria and so on doesn't flow right. So I would suggest, I'm just working on you to say, well, once you come into yourself, your nerves, it's like short circuiting. Basically you short circuit down there. So once you connect, you'll be complete there as far as your nerves. You'll actually feel more pain. Sometimes you'll feel pinpricks. Like when your nerves, like if you sleep on your arm, for example, and it comes back alive, you feel that pain, you'll feel that pain down there, but it'll feel really good for you because your organs will start to awaken. Because what I'm seeing is an impingement, or again, not the proper frequency flow into your lower half. So your organs get kind of numb, and then they don't work as well, and then bacteria gets overridden. So you might need to do like an intestinal cleanse or probiotics or something to really like flush that out and recalibrate your bacteria. As your organs come back online, you might say eliminate quite a bit as your organs come back online, because you don't eliminate completely as you should, because again, your organs is literally sleeping or kind of numb down there as well. And that's why you have I don't know what colitis is, but I just see an overgrowth of bacteria down there, because again, it's not functioning well. So all those things will come into shape really quick within the next, say, few weeks from what I'm seeing. Your health, or coming into yourself. You might not care about anybody or anything else for a little bit, which is okay, because you're literally getting intimate with yourself and really understanding yourself. You want to be alone for a little bit and really acknowledge who you are, embrace who you are, and then you'll connect with people at a deeper level as well. So I congratulate you, my friend. So
Awesome. Thank
yeah,
you. That's
you're so welcome,
wonderful.
my friend. And again, guys, Rosalind, and then you as well, John, right back. All right. So, all right. We just got a few. I'll just, well, we'll just take a few minutes and just work on people. Uh, Beth Neary, how can we get a session with you? My sessions get really, really booked out really fast, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a waiting list. Okay, we're going to do a waiting list. So it's not set up right now. You know, it's just a schedule. If you don't get in, you don't get in. But what we'll create is a waiting list for you. That guy that wants sessions. So we'll do that for you, and then we'll schedule you properly. All right. uh, Before then, okay, to get the most out of your, say, one-on-one sessions, because the simple things I can do, the simple things that might be complicated or like extreme for you is pretty simple for me. Those can be done in, say, an 18-day meditation coming up in April. We do the 18 days every other month because it was too intense. So take a look at that. Listening to Moss on Sundays, listening to the podcast will really get you, say, into the XI mode, where you do have a session within like 10 minutes. Um, and again, it's not about the time value, it's about the frequencies that I generate within, again, I don't know how long it took, like 5-10 minutes for John and Rosalind. Within that time, look at how many things we intervened on, and then not just told them about what's going on, but then help their frequencies. So we can do a hell of a lot, because it's not about time value. It's about the frequencies I generate, and then all those things that we didn't talk about. So again, I would do something like that before you have a session. It just makes your investment, uh, um, well, it's a better for you, and you get more out of your investment. Also, instead of like working on fixing you, we can take that session and like kind of finish up anything that we need to remove, and then we can help you strengthen. And that's what exponential intelligence is about: getting you in shape and getting you healthy and getting you proper, like wealthy and abundant and all that stuff. That's just a given once you practice exponential intelligence. So again, those things shouldn't take a lifetime. Those things should just take a very short period of time to get you back on track, and then I teach you how to make the most of where you are. This one, can you please? Oh, shoot, here we go. There's so many people writing in. My asthma that I had for over 30 years was cured on the 18 days. Oh, fantastic! So beautiful, guys. Again, guys, I'm not a doctor, but what I do best that nobody does is that I awaken your own natural healing ability, your own natural limitless self, and then that way you heal yourself. Okay, and many have healed through even terminally ill um, diseases. This is through. This is Kazim. Please, could you scan me? Thanks, Kazim Hossein. Sure. Again, not a doctor. Head type issues or headaches or stress or whatever, you're always in your head. So pulling you in, and you're always worried about or you always have pressure that's outside of you, whether it's family or even if you were out in the desert and you were alone. And I say this because no matter what you do, and I don't know if you're new to XI or been here before. Either way, it's a new pattern that's coming into you. So if you say you're new, you're just starting to realize it, or this I'm helping you start to realize. If you've been here before, you've cleaned up well. What's happened is that you've come to a level where you need to delete that pattern. Seems more of the latter, where again you've come up to a certain level where you need to acknowledge that pattern, people come into you and they control the hell out of you, and they dominate you. So you want to escape all the time, and that's what I said. Even if you went into the desert and escaped everybody, like seems like you might have, you'll still run a pattern of something dominating you. It would be you. That's all. So getting rid of that for you, you're at a breaking point, and that's why. I caution you because this is where you heavily confirm your deletions and then don't go back. Okay. By the way you do that is by not helping people. I know it sounds strange, but once you break that pattern, you can go back and help people properly. We'll take one more. Let's see. This is Michelle C. Hi, Miles. Thank you. Can you please scan my boyfriend? He is stuck in the past and living other people's lives. It's ruining our relationship. Yes. So, Michelle, again, we're going to be talking about this on the 13 ways to heal your love pain. Again, coming up soon. So take a look at that. For you, Michelle, you've gone really fast. You've elevated so fast in a very short period of time, and it's not just your boyfriend, your whole life, your living situation, all those things. You're basically, you know, you're basically a new person living in an old place, in an old identity, in an old consciousness. It's not. It's just not gonna. It's just not gonna be the best. Can he come through? I'm not here to say yes or no. Even if I did know the answer, but it's for you not to have yourself being pulled back because that's the pattern that you need to let go. Okay. Yes, you're seeing a lot of things. You're seeing your new self. But again, do you notice how you're always like get sucked backwards or you feel guilty and you'll fall backwards? Don't do that. Don't stop. Just keep going forward. Don't worry about your boyfriend or anything like that. If he wants to wake up, and I'll work on him a little bit so he knows, so he at least has a choice to go, well, should I go with this woman? Um, or not. One thing to note, by the way, Michelle, as you get stronger and stronger, because you couldn't go back even if you wanted to. You're too awakened. When you know the truth, right? When you know the truth, you can't go back. You can't go back and hide it. So you're going to feel guilty, and then what he seems like, he's going to feel more rejected, and when he feels rejected, he's going to like get sick, or it's like you'll have to take care of him, or it's like that guilt feeling. It's like, well, shit, I'm sick, I'm not worthy, not well. It is from that non-worthy. Anyway, it's like he gets to a point where he needs somebody to take care of him. Okay. And by the way, if you continue on with this relationship the way it is, when you get older, you're going to be the one that's going to take care of them. So that's basically what it is, unless he changes. I'm just saying that. So that's the pattern you're running, whether it's him or somebody else. You would be that person that, again, the couple gets debilitated somehow, and then the other couple who had vibrancy and everything ends up taking care of them, wielding around. There's nothing wrong with that, but again, if it's a burden pattern, you've burdened yourself. It's not about taking care of people, but it's how you take care of people. So that pattern in you, Michelle, is disconnecting. I would highly recommend not stopping. And then if he wants to awaken and go with you, well, that's fantastic. Then he'll do the work. If he doesn't, then that relationship might not be the best for your new self. Okay. One more. This is Asta. Hamas, can you scan me, please? Sure. And by the way, some of you might go, well, how do you know? How do I read people? Because your frequency, even the typewritten, you don't have to use your real name or anything. Your frequency has an IP address, just like your phone and everything else. We have an IP address that I tap into. Okay. So anyway, So it's tough kind of being my kids because I can see the truth. For you though, whoever it is, Asta, is that um, you're very fearful or insecure on the inside, and then on the outside, you show this stronger identity. Okay, so you're never really yourself, and you just crave one day that's like, gosh, I wish somebody could really see my real self so I can like grow. But nobody will because you're too, say, scared. Because if you did show them your real self, they're going to run away and you feel that you're not good enough. So that's that pattern that you're running again. So what happens, especially as you become, say, successful, the more success you have, the more, say, of a deeper layer that you would have to create to protect your weakness or the insecurities that you have compared to where you are. By the way, your insecurities are not that insecure. Everybody has them, hon. So I would go inwards, and that's what I'm helping you with, and not really care about outside. This is called outside referencing again, which we'll be talking about in the 13 ways to heal your love pain, or 14 ways, whichever one, which is daily, by the way, for 13 days. Um, but what was I saying? Again, those weaknesses or insecurities, everybody has them. Again, they're not really extreme, but the way you've been raised, again, is that you feel that insecurity. And that insecurity has been used in your family to hold you as part of the family, so you can't say escape. So you feel like a little bird, and you're wanting somebody to, pull you out of that cage again by allowing you to be or express your insecurities. So what I'm doing for you is again, instead of referencing yourself from outside, what other people will think of you, I'm going to reference you. Change that reference point really quick. You're gonna go inward, and you're gonna see your insecurities. You might not like it at first, again, because that's what you've always moved away from. You've escaped. So again, forcing you to direct yourself inwards. And as you direct yourself inwards, again, don't beat yourself up. Go back and heal your inner child. And again, I can help you through that on the 18 days or whatever. And then as you go back and heal your inner child, right? Because you've always wanted somebody to go, hey, it's okay, right? It's okay where you are. Let's get you better. You're going to be the one that reparents yourself, and you're going to be the one that goes back. You can't wait for anybody else, guys. Nobody's going to be there for you. They're not good enough, by the way, and they won't do it right. So you're going to be the one that goes back and goes, oh, this is what happened to me at 2 or 3 or 4, and all those years, and you're going to heal yourself and be that loving parent uh, for yourself and guide your higher self, and then you'll grow into a strong, however old you are. um, and that's where you get confident, and you're not going to need that facade around you. You're just going to be you can have that opportunity to feel, say, vibrant and not give a damn about what other people think about you, because it's you. But the beautiful aspect about that is that when somebody is their real selves, right, people naturally gravitate to you, and they want to be like you in a good way. So you've got that propensity on. I see a lot of great opportunities for you. You have to do the work. Okay. So all right, guys. We started off kind of rough on this Moss on Sunday. Again, a lot of new technologies to make it a better experience, just like in your life. It might get a little choppy and so on. Again, learn from it, like we will, and we'll get better and better with the production. So as we end, guys, notice what you notice. Notice the details on what you notice. All right, peace.